My spouse canceled our green card case. Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States, out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. You know, when an immigrant marries a U.S. citizen, that U.S. citizen can file an I-130 petition for an alien relative to sponsor the foreign-born person for a green card. And when that case is on file and up until the filing of that case, the U.S. citizen really has sort of more power in the relationship than the non-citizen. But let's say that everything's good, the couple's in love, the U.S. citizen files the I-130 petition, the beneficiary files the I-45, and the case is pending. And then sometimes the couples get into a fight. And you'd be surprised how often this happens. But the U.S. citizen and the foreign national get in a big old fight. And the U.S. citizen decides to withdraw the case. That's one main scenario. The other main scenario that we see is at the interview, the couple is separated. And when they separate the couple, they ask the U.S. citizen a bunch of questions, they ask the foreign national a bunch of questions, and then the officer might start pushing the U.S. citizen to withdraw the I-130. And sometimes the U.S. citizen is scared and goes ahead and withdraws the I-130. So when that happens, bad things happen to the beneficiary. Now, it's surprising how often this scenario, either withdrawal because of a fight or withdrawal because of pressure from the immigration officer, it's surprising how oftentimes when that happens, the beneficiary was out of status at the time of the marriage. So me as an immigration lawyer, I'm always going to want to dive into the person's immigration history before they got married. And the reason for that is because the officers are going to say, well, you got married while you're out of status. You got married and were thereby cleaning up your immigration mess. So if the whole thing goes sideways and the U.S. citizen withdraws the I-130, then you're going to find yourself in big, big trouble. And the problem is, you as the beneficiary, if the I-130 is withdrawn, you have nothing keeping you here. If you were out of status at the time that you filed, you've now raised your hand and said that you're here. You've now raised your hand and given them your address. And now that the U.S. citizen has withdrawn the I-130, you're sort of left there with your pants down, and you're going to have to try to figure out what in the world to do. Now, most likely, there's not much to do. And according to Project 2025 and Donald Trump's immigration people, they want to, upon the withdrawal of the I-130, then to issue a notice to appear in immigration court for the beneficiary. So I think you're going to start seeing more of that. So when the I-130 is withdrawn, the beneficiary is sort of put back in the position that they were before, but they're actually worse off. They're worse off for those reasons I just mentioned, that USCIS now knows that they're here and out of status, and you have a mark against your record because you have filed a marriage case, and now that marriage went sideways, the divorce is on its way, nothing happened. So if you marry a second person, then they're really going to think that you're only doing this to get an immigration benefit and not because you're actually in love with a human being that you want to spend the rest of your life with. The other problem with withdrawals is a lot of times when the U.S. citizen is mad and they send that letter withdrawing it, or when they admit to the immigration officers at the interview that they want to withdraw the case, a lot of times the U.S. citizen will say bad things about the beneficiary. So if there's been a fight, they might say something like, oh, he only married me to get a green card, or, oh, she's been cheating on me and I have proof, right? So when that happens, if the couple reconciles and the U.S. citizen has tried to withdraw the case, then you have a big old mess, because now you've gone on record as the U.S. citizen spouse saying, yeah, even I don't know that this marriage is real. Even I don't know that this person has good intentions. Even I don't know if this person just married me to get a green card. So it's a huge, monumental step to withdraw an I-130. It's something that you almost cannot unring that bell. It's very, very hard to fix. You're going to have to do a whole lot of explaining if you decide to reapply, which happens a lot. A lot of times, either through anger or fear, when the I-130 gets withdrawn, the couples reconcile, and then they want to go ahead and file a new case or to reopen the case that they withdrew. And that's a really, really big problem. It's really hard to do. And, you know, if the case was hard before because the beneficiary was out of status at the time they got married, it's a whole lot harder now that we have this prior withdrawal, especially if the U.S. citizen said a bunch of bad things. So the lesson is, be 100% sure that you do not want this person that you're married to get a green card before you withdraw the case. And that's especially true before you say bad things while withdrawing the case. So as I said to someone on the show the other day, not every withdrawn I-130 is the same. You really need to look at the facts of how was the withdrawn made? What did the person say? Is this case irretrievably broken? Is there never going to be a way to get this case approved? Listen, if you want to get started on the green card process, or if you have a case that's pending, or if, God forbid, somebody filed a motion withdrawal and you want help sorting everything out, give us a call at 314-961-8200. Email us info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. Be sure to join us on our YouTube channel. You can subscribe there. You can turn on the little bell so that you get alerted whenever we go live. I have a live show called the Immigration Answer Show that you can join me 2 or 3 times a week. If you want to text the word SHOW, SHOW, to 314-470-3300, you'll get a link to the waiting room to come ask me the question. We also have our Facebook group, which we publish the show in there. That's called Immigrant Home. We'd love to have you join us there. We have 15,000 people talking about the immigration process in there every day. And then finally, if you're not following us on TikTok, we're already at about 155,000 followers on TikTok. And be sure to follow us there at Immigration Hacking. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.